Hey, brothers and sisters, there's one thing about the health effects of eating dead animal flesh. I was telling a sister today, I was doing my 10-mile run this morning on the treadmill, my 10-mile run. I've made it all the way back down to my 170s. I'm around 177 pounds now. Smallest I've been in 3 years, and consistently I haven't been this size since the Rock Newman days of 2018 when I was clean shaven. All praises to the Most High. I hope you all are having a blessed month, a strong month, having a very, very strong month this month. All praises to the Most High. Food is spiritual. Health is a salvational issue. If you really believe in the true religion of the Lord, then it'll show in your health. And that's all in the scriptures. Disease, the Deuteronomy 7:15, just one example. That disease is reserved for the wicked. So what are you doing wickedly as a believer to where you're sick? Okay, if you're really a commandment keeper, why you're sick? If you really filled with the Holy Ghost, the Ruach, why are you sick? If you're saved, then why are you sick? Why aren't you saved from disease upon your body? Because there's a wickedness that you're committing, and it's the worship of the God of your belly. I tell you all this over and over. Hebrew Israelites and Christians, they worship the God of their belly. They worship a theology of blood. It's a blood cult, just like all of the pagan religions. God requires death and blood to be satisfied. It's the same thing. Rewashed, repackaged. So I'm telling this big fat sister that was jogging next to me, I told her, I was pushing her, I do over 2 hours on the treadmill. I get started at like 4:50 in the morning and it'd be past 7 o'clock and I still be jogging on the treadmill. So sometimes I get bored and I'll start health coaching the people around me because I'm in better shape than I was when I was a United States Marine 20 years ago. And so and that's because of the fruits, that's because of the living foods. And that's what I was telling the big fat sister. I was telling her, I said, sister, eat life. I said, you could do, because she was struggling on the treadmill and I was pushing. I was like, sister, you could really improve your endurance. It's not about how hard you work on the treadmill, sister. I say, it's what you do after. And you got to put life into your body. God's nature, life. What has nature provided for us? What does nature want to give us for food? And that's your fruits. Then I told her, I said, and that means you can't put that animal flesh in your mouth. Oh, she almost fell off the treadmill when I said that. Big and fat as she is, short, fat, and all, built like Emmett Smith at about 5'3", and she almost fell off the treadmill. I said, yes, sister, you got to give up that animal flesh. I said, something you have to kill cannot bring life to your body. Are you understanding me, sister? Something that had to die cannot bring life to your body. But how can they believe otherwise when this is what Christianity and Hebrew Israelite teach? This is what they teach, that we live through death. We live through blood. The blood of Jesus, the death of Jesus, blood of animals, the death of animals. That's why she had that response. Our next food drive to feed the homeless, the children, the impoverished, the hungry is coming up Friday, October the 3rd. Friday, October the 3rd. We return to the slums and we fulfill the mandate of the true religion of Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, and that is living a life in service of others. So if you are struggling in any area of your life, if you need extra blessings, extra karma, you reap what you sow. Sow a seed of life of $1,000 towards the feeding of the homeless children and their families Friday, October the 3rd. That's our next missionary initiatives. We do not cancel missionary initiatives. I don't. I tithe most of what I earn from the online store back into the missionary work, whether you help or not, because I understand that it is only the givers who will not lack financially. It's the givers who will not lack in their health. It is those who give who have their prayers prioritized by the Most High God. And I want you to be under his full protection and covering in your life. We have to give to the poor. We must serve them. We must feed the hungry. We must give them hope. Sow your seed of life for $1,000 for the Friday, October the 3rd food drive. We do this the first Friday of every single month. No excuses. Everyone listening to the sound of my voice, you should know that by now. The first Friday of every month, we feed the hungry, the homeless, the poor, the suffering in some of the most horrendous, dilapidated, third world poverty that you could imagine. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness to sow your seed of life, love, and peace. Zelle is right there on the screen. It's right there on the screen. PayPal.me/Minister of Wellness. PayPal.me/Minister of Wellness. The Minister of Wellness.com/give. Credit or debit card. The Minister of Wellness.com/give. When you give to the poor, you are lending to the Lord. He will repay you. He will repay you in your time of need. So these religions, they don't even care. 7 reasons why eating meat. And I told her, I said, just do it for 3 days. I said, eat like me for 3 days. Eat life. Put life in your body and watch how amazing you feel. If you can do 30 minutes, you'll do an hour. You do 90 minutes. One day I'm going to do a video. It's just going to be boring, but I'm going to show you all. I jump rope for 60 minutes with no break. No break from start to finish. I start jumping and I can jump rope 60 minutes straight. I heard Clarissa Shields, the GOAT, the greatest female boxer of all time, Clarissa Shields, the sister from Detroit. And I heard her, she was on Gilbert Arenas, the former NBA basketball player. She was on his podcast and she was like, man, I know I'm in great shape when I can jump rope 30 straight minutes. And Kenyon Martin and Gilbert, they were like, woo, woo. You know, they was just saying like, that's fascinating. 30 straight minutes of jumping rope. And she was like, that's how I know I'm ready. And you all know she's a professional boxer, boxing champion. And so when I heard her say that, I said, I wonder how many minutes I can do. You know, can I wonder, can I get up there with a professional boxing champion? I do 60 minutes. 60 minutes, no break. My birthday is coming up soon, so I'm thinking about doing more videos showing my fitness as your apostle of hell. There's not a preacher on this planet, I guarantee you, not no full-time missionary, because I'm a full-time missionary, full-time minister, full-time preacher, and I guarantee you, when it comes to health and fitness, especially if you're talking about the black church. 7 reasons why meat is bad for the environment. Eating animal flesh destroys the environment, and we're supposed to protect God's nature. We're supposed to live our lives in a manner that does not produce harm at all. That's the perfect will of God. Revelation 21:4, Isaiah chapter 11. No more pain, suffering, no more death. All tears wiped away. Why are you refusing to live your life according to the perfect will of God? I had a Hebrew Israelite brother and he told me, he said, until we in the kingdom, until I am forced to do the perfect will of God, minister, I'm going to eat my steak. I'm going to eat my fried chicken. Wow. You okay, brother? Okay. So when cancer and heart disease and diabetes and stroke strikes your family down, why are you bothering God with your prayers? If that's your attitude, that I don't care what I see in the Bible, I'm going to use other verses to fight against God's perfect will. So why even ask for prayer for healing? Why? Then suffer the consequences that will come. If that is your disgusting, despicable response to the perfect will of God. Yeah, it's a blood cult. It's a cult of death and destruction. And that's why none of you listening to this video, you still can't respond to my channel. I mean, what am I going to have to do? Offer you money? Is that what I'm going to have to do? Why can't you put in the description box? Why can you not put in the description box the name of the black church, Hebrew Israelite or Christian, because they both the same anyway? Why can't you give me the name and the location of the black church where I can go to and I can see elders in that church? When I say elder, I even lower the standard. I said 80 and over. Elders 80 and over. Men and elders in the church, and they're fit, they're lean, they're healthy, they have their youthful vigor. They can do jumping jacks, push-ups, pull-ups, run. And all the elders over the age of 80. Name me, put the name of the black church, Hebrew Israelite or Christian. They're the same religion anyway. They worship the God of their belly. Ain't no difference. That's a crying shame. You still can't do it. What I got to do? Offer you $1,000 to find me such a black church in America? You can't do it. But these are supposed to be the religions of the Most-High God, following the infallible, inerrant word of God. Eating meat causes deforestation and forest fires. Yeah, in Brazil, farmers are deliberately setting forest fires. They're destroying the Amazon on purpose so they can clear space for cattle ranching to grow industrial animal feed. This is what you're supporting when you eat animal flesh. It causes climate change. See, the climate impact of meat is enormous. Roughly equivalent to all the driving and flying of every car, truck, and planes in the world. All the cars, all the trucks, all the planes in the world combined does not have the environmental footprint of meat eating. See? Billions of tons of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere, accelerating global warming. The fallen trees are often left to rot on the forest floor, or they're burned, creating further emissions. Look what we're doing. Look what we're doing. And these religions support this. These death cult, blood cult religions, they have no concern and no care. But that's not the religion of Jesus. Jesus was a Nazarene. He absolutely cared about our relationship to the environment. I really appreciate it when you support the Minister of Wellness online store. Most of the proceeds go towards our missionary initiatives serving the poor. When you serve the poor, God got your back. So go to theministerofwellness.com, theministerofwellness.com. We have sea moss, dull seaweed for iron. We have vitamin D, vitamin K2, other vitamins and minerals, all 5 of my books, over 60 herbal extracts, and more. Everything you need for your health. Theministerofwellness.com online store. High potency, high quality, and that assurance and extra blessings of knowing that the extra proceeds are going to helping those in need. Yes, my supplements are higher. Yes, they are higher. I admit that. It is on purpose. It's not only because of the potency and my supplements being organic. I stand behind the Minister of Wellness label and approved supplements. But again, brothers and sisters, it is because I need as much profit as possible on top of the manufacturing costs, so that I can fill in the gaps, the financial gaps of supporting our orphans, supporting the food drives, supporting the sanitary pad drives, supporting the poor and the widows and the less fortunate. TheMinisterofWellness.com _, TheMinisterofWellness.com _, 888-847-8026, 888-847-8026, 888-847-8026, theministerofwellness.com. Please don't get comfortable, brothers and sisters. Don't get comfortable. A lot of you rushed and purchased the immune support emergency stash when that Chinese virus was starting to spread. Now you're not hearing about it. Don't get comfortable. Make sure you have your 7 bottles of my most powerful herbal extract for your immune system, the Immune Support Emergency Stash. You get 7 bottles of my powerful immune support herbal extract, which is a mixture of powerful herbs for the immune system. You get all 7 for 50% off, no promo code needed. TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com. Remember, most of the profits from the online store also goes right into feeding the missionary work. When you give to the poor, that also helps boost your immune system. 888-847-8026 if you need help placing an order, any questions, comments, or concerns. 888-847-8026. 888-847-8026. The Black Health Disparities Package is designed to attack those comorbidities that makes viruses more deadly. That's what it's designed for. So if you need an extra boost along with your fruit fasting and getting rid of these comorbidities, these diseases that is putting you at high risk of death when the next pandemic comes, the Black Health Disparities Package is for you. The fat loss, the reduced inflammation, the blood sugar balance, lower blood pressure and cholesterol, and the immune support herbal extract. You get these top 5 together to attack all diseases at one time. You get them together in a package for 50% off, no promo code needed. TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com. Always remember that most of the proceeds from my online store, while you're helping your health, you're also helping your health in knowing that most of those proceeds are going into serving the poor. 888-847-8026, 888-847-8026, 888-847-8026. And I have some of the original writings of Jesus the Nazarene and his Nazarene Essene disciples, and we're going to be going over those studies in our Bible studies. We're going to be going over those writings in our Bible studies. It's pushing the Amazon rainforest closer to a tipping point. See, without the rainforest, that has a devastating impact. So when you eat animal flesh, you're supporting famine. You're supporting the destruction of the rainforest every time you put that dead animal flesh in your mouth. You're poisoning yourself and you're poisoning the environment. John 10:10, Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come to give you life and life more abundantly. Are you hurting your body or are you hurting the planet when you sit down and decide to eat? And if you know you have a better option and you choose, that's what Proverbs chapter 1 talk about. How you sit here and you ignore the wisdom of the Lord, but then when you want to cry out to God in your calamity, when your body is stricken down and you're on your deathbed, then all of a sudden you want to cry out to the Lord for help. Number 4 is responsible for human rights abuses and land grabbing. Yeah, they go into Brazil and they murder indigenous populations who are trying to protect the forest so they can steal the land so you can have your burgers and your fried chicken. You selfish, gluttonous, fat, sick, cotton-picking Negro. This is what you are participating in. You spend thousands of dollars on your gut, and then yet you ignore the commercial that you just heard to give $1,000 to feed hungry children that your meat eating contributes to. Your meat eating contributes to us having to do the food drives. So you should be giving $2,000. They're murdering indigenous populations. They're murdering them so they can steal their land, destroy the forest so they can graze animals. Eating meat kills wildlife. Using toxic pesticides to grow animal food. Eating the meat industry is contributing to the extinction of thousands of species, many of which haven't even been discovered yet. We're destroying the circle of life. And that's why Mother Nature is destroying us at lower and lower ages. The time will come when we won't even be living to 30 years old. Animal flesh increases the risk of future pandemics. When you destroy the forest and wild animals for animal agriculture, it is a major cause of new infectious diseases because 3/4 of new diseases affecting humans comes from animals. And cutting down and burning forests brings wildfire into closer contact with people, enabling deadly viruses to pass from animals to humans. The more forest that is destroyed, the greater risk of a new pandemic. And when it comes to giving, another part of the real religion of Jesus Christ are the Ebionites. Look them up. The Ebionites, the Essenes. And they believe that the purpose of wealth is to give it to the poor. That's what they believe. That's what Jesus stood for. Do no harm to anybody or anything that God has created, and live your life in service to the poor. That's the true religion. That's the salvation message that the real Jesus came to preach. And yes, he was a black man. But once you get past that knowledge, you have to elevate to a higher truth. And it's not an effective way to eat. You don't need no dead animal flesh for protein. And they're using over 1/4 of the world's entire land area to graze or grow food for farm animals, food that could have been eaten by people in the first place. You see what I'm saying? And you wonder why we have to do food drives to starving children because of you. Because you stuffing your fat stomach with all of this animal flesh, and they using land to raise animals and feed animals instead of feeding starving children. So again, you flesh eaters, or we look at our past and our past meat eating and all the money that we've wasted, and eating meat is very expensive. There's nothing more expensive than going into the grocery store and buying dead animal flesh. Especially if you try to get it organic or grass-fed, you're going to be paying $20 a pound. But all of a sudden, when it's time to feed children, all of a sudden, it's like pulling teeth. I went and I visited the land. As you see here, this is an example of the land that we're seeking to purchase for $40,000 US. That would give us, we're finding great deals to where with $40,000 US, we're looking now. I thought we were looking at 20 acres, but now we're looking at places where we could get over 40 acres of land. As you all could see, yes, it would need developing. That can be done very easily, where we would have to develop and regenerate the land, and we could turn it into a beautiful green oasis for hundreds of children. With 47 acres, we could build multiple children's homes where we could have up to 500 children on that type of acreage, if not more. So this is the start of the vision. We do have a business plan, brothers and sisters. So this ministry, nothing that I am doing is just willy-nilly and no team. And we have a 70-page business plan. And any of you all listening to the sound of my voice, you are welcome to email me anytime, and I will send you very quickly the business plan. And you can ask any questions, comments, or concerns as you read the vision plan from start to finish. We need top-tier donors to finish purchasing the land. We will need every penny of the $500,000 on the GoFundMe. The link is in the description box and pinned comment section. But this is an example of one of the lands that we are considering. This is 47 acres you're looking at. Yes, we would have to clear it. Yes, we would have to regenerate it. All of that is able to be done. That's why the GoFundMe price is set the way that it is. That's why we need more top tier donors. So we are still $12,000 to $15,000 away from being able to purchase the land. And then once we purchase, then it's time to regenerate regenerate, and then it is time to build. GoFundMe link is in the description box, pinned comment section. We only have 2 top-tier donors. I launched this emergency campaign months ago for building a new children's home to not only save our children from the slums of Athi River at New Rouge Children's Home, but also to serve as a rescue center for hundreds and hundreds of other children living on the street. Sister Vanessa Levine King, she has still given by far the most. God is blessing her. God has given her the power. She's on an incredible healing journey because of her giving heart. And she gave 18,000. And then the Simmons family, brother and sister Simmons, they are close to being top tier donors, and we need a lot more to complete this project. Please don't be selfish. Don't make excuses. GoFundMe link is there. The full length video of the disgusting, dilapidated conditions that so many fatherless and motherless children are living in, which has precipitated the need for this emergency campaign, is right there in the description box and pinned comment section. We will etch in stone your name. We will have a plaque with your name. Top tier donor Sister Vanessa Levine King is the first member of our Donors Hall of Fame. So we will have your picture in a hall. So for all eternity, as long as this structure stands for thousands and thousands of years, they will know that you participated in the building of this children's home. And this is just one of many. This is one of many that we plan to build all throughout Africa, all throughout the world. So please, the GoFundMe link is in the description box and pinned comment section. Be a part of this great work. Please stop making excuses. You will never, ever receive the blessings and the healing of the Lord in your life until you become an active, ferocious, vigorous giver to the poor, not to a church building, not to some greedy fat pastor, but giving as much as possible to the poor is a part of the true religion of Jesus Christ. Help me, brothers and sisters. Help me. I'm trying to make the down payment. We need 12,000 more that will just purchase. But after that, then we have to clear the land, and then we have to start building. This is 47 acres. It stretches all the way here, 47 acres. And we can save hundreds and hundreds of children. This is the vision. This is where it starts. Please submit your legacy by helping me to save the fatherless and the motherless. God bless. So these are 7 ways that eating meat is wicked. It's an abomination. It's a sin. It's murder. And you don't have no doggone choice. You either stop participating in the death and destruction of God's children, or death and destruction will come to you and your families. You're listening to this and your family's already wiped out. All you have to do is look around. That's why you can't put the name of your church in the comment section for me to come visit. You can't do it because God's judgment is already upon them, destroying them, not listening to any prayers for healing that they are praying, that you are praying, because of the wickedness that we are involved in. So no, brothers and sisters, I don't care what twistings of the Apostle Paul's letters that you try to throw at me. I command you, with the authority of Jesus Christ the Nazarene as his apostle of health, to stop participating in the murder of God's planet. And I command you to eat the medicine foods of God, the true dietary laws. Go to Leviticus chapter 11 in your Bible and rip it out and throw it in the trash. Those are not God's dietary laws. God's dietary laws, Genesis 1:29. The fruit with the seed in it. God's dietary law is Revelations 21:4. Non-violent way of eating. Revelations 22:2. Life, love, peace, joy, health, wellness. That's the religion of the Most-High God. Service, giving, selflessness, gentleness, kindness, meekness, humbleness, faith.